calendar and into the event page, as I said before, where I'm going to start the time code. Those of you who have been here know what we're doing next. If you're new, we are going to all hit the play button on our remotes at the same time on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I have a excuse me. I have a feeling we're going to see Lorelei a lot at Yale.
It's only like 30 minutes away, as far as I understand.
I mean, it works well for the narrative of the show, but yeah, I mean, it feels like this is going to be kind of one of their new locations, 2 of them.
What is this outfit that Alexis is wearing?
The outfit that
Early
which one of them is wearing?
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Alexis is wearing like a shirt that looks like a tank top on top of a shirt, but it's really, I think it's just a t-shirt. It's called the early 2000s. Everybody wore t-shirts under strappy things.
Yeah, but that looks like a very, very low tank top. That's not a real tank top.
Yeah, we never had shopping week in school. That would have been great, though. Maybe I want to drop out.
I love this part.
They can't tease us like that. Did Emily come? I'm wondering.
They can tease you like that.
And they did. We love knowing what we know.
I know, it is kind of nice.
They've been getting real teasy lately. Teasing us about Yale in that premiere episode.
Just wait till we get to the latter season. Then you'll really be like, really?
John, Sherry messaged me and wanted me to tell you that she got kicked out and she's trying to come back in.
Oh no. And she got kicked out like the way she usually does and can't get back in.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and she was on the couch.
Great.
Who?
Sherry.
Sherry.
Oh, sad. Did everybody notice the new actor on the credits?
No, I wasn't looking at that.
Mm-hmm. No, I missed it. The actor that plays Digger is on the credits. I never noticed that before.
On the main credits?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
Now I'm tempted to go back and look.
I will say that my second class of my freshman year of college, I did exactly what Rory did there. Arrived early, and I read.
I don't think I've been early to anything my whole life. I'm early to everything.
I just left Pixie and Jackson, and I think it's great. Vicky looks kind of glam. I'm liking this outfit.
That is one of the funniest lines in the show.
Same coffee cups.
Here you go, John.
That's
So
funny.
oblivious. The fact that she's just sitting on the coffee table.
Oh my god, the turntable.
The turntable.
Oh my god, that's
Also 5.1 surround sound. Kind of dated.
I can't stand him, Gilmore.
oh Emily.
Oh boy.
I love her in glasses.
I was gonna say
It's
Lorelai in
her.
glasses is my favorite Lorelai. That's my favorite.
Top,
Easily.
top
See
tier.
a lot of that this season, if I
Same.
remember.
I think you're right.
Lorelai running around the house and just like giving Rory the list of problems that she had today. It's just so much all hood to me.
The chair's butt ugly though.
I know, but that was in style. Like, what?
My grandmother did kind of the same thing, and I loved it.
She should tell Emily, decorate my room or Friday night dinners, pick one.
The furniture doesn't really bother me, I guess. I'm trying to think whether or not I really am. I don't think I'm bothered by it.
It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't bother me either. It's just like gingham. It's just oh, sorry.
I could let the control part of it annoy me, but I don't know. I'm not letting it.
What
Did she-
bothers me more is that Janice decided to exercise in front of Rory when there was a whole open space behind her. She could do it.
I know. I was
But
thinking about it.
But Janet's Janet. Carpet.
Digger Stiles. Who's this?
Oh.
Digger.
Oh, Digger.
I grew up with a guy and we called him Digger, and I have no idea why.
Bless you, whoever that was.
Sometimes she's fun. She's funny.
How many fireplaces does Rory have in her dorm room?
I think there's one in the bedroom and one in the living room.
Okay, because I thought that Emily installed one for the living room.
Well, apparently so did Tana.
No, like Lorelai mentioned it like the second they walked into the dorm in the last episode. College Paris is like far superior to high school Paris.
I was just thinking that. These are my favorite seasons that are coming up.
Same. The second half of the series is my favorite. I cannot tell if Amy and Dan love or hate Lord of the Rings or like what, because they mention it so many times.
Yeah, they do. There's a bunch of Lord of the Rings references. I don't know if it's that they like it or they find it silly.
It was real big at that time too. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan, so this is always very exciting.
I could see Dan really loving Lord of the Rings. And maybe Amy finding that kind of funny. It's interesting. I don't know how I feel about the Paris really being into the whole partying thing, because it feels a little off from what I knew of her last season. I guess I understand that it's a status thing and whatnot, but maybe we can talk about it.
She's trying.
Yeah.
She's trying to be a different person.
Yeah, she's
She has
trying to
a
be a
life
different
coach
person.
and everything.
Okay, that's cool. Maybe we can talk about that afterwards a little bit. I don't have a problem with it. Just it seems off to me, and kind of interesting, I guess. In general, she seems like a very different character. Just like between last season and this, almost as if it's a new character in a way.
All because of Terrence. Oh, I lost it.
We're gonna have to talk about this Tana character.
I love her.
Tana's an interesting cookie.
Okay, now I'm seeing it.
The love boat. Brazilian bikini wax, kind of a strange joke.
It's funny though.
Well, that's a digger.
I don't like his nickname.
He's very Lorelai-like to me.
Yeah.
Sounds illegal.
If I was Richard, I wouldn't trust him.
He's okay. Yeah, I got thoughts. I got thoughts. Lots of thoughts.
Yeah, I remember that this was gonna happen, and I remember how annoyed it made me when I watched it. Kids are gonna love it.
That actually looks pretty good.
There's still some old pears in there.
I was just thinking that, like, her 2 to 5, but it was like so much more, like, mellow.
But she's trying so hard.
I like that Simpsons joke.
Glad to know that Louise and Madeline have not changed. I just noticed that.
These two gave a very underrated performance.
Oh dear God.
Gosh, these characters are awesome. That's funny that went to commercial, which is a weird place to go to commercial.
I did not realize that was the first time we see that guy.
It's technically the second time we see him. He ran
Oh my
through
gosh.
earlier and said something about.
I love Glenn.
Are you
Yeah.
serious? Oh my god.
Yes.
I know we get him early. I
love
thought
him,
that
so.
earlier.
Why does it feel like he's like the college Kirk?
Because
Oh my
he-
gosh. I was literally.
I never made that connection, but he totally is.
Because he's not really anyone yet. So it's kind of like Kirk, how Kirk was originally, right?
Paris is back.
Bimming them up.
Just so that life coach not doing.
Oh, Rory's trying so hard. Oh.
I'm not
Surprised
gonna
they're allowed
lie.
to
Lord
show
of the
that much of the movie.
charcuterie. This is Victoria. This is the year, guys.
This whole Hobbit party storyline is great.
I've never watched any of the movies, but I've read all the books.
I wouldn't even eat that.
I would. Man.
Oh, I think it looks good.
Oh, I definitely would.
I don't like the
Always.
jalapeno part. I don't do hot.
We all would, the kids would not.
I don't know about the vegetable platter, but I've eaten a lot of that stuff.
Oh, that cake.
This just annoys me so much.
Lorelai, or she's
Suki.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm like, so I'm supposed. Suki is that unaware of creating stuff for kids, huh?
Yeah, it's to show you she's not really ready for this baby thing yet.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, that makes sense, but the little room that we saw in their backyard looked very child kitty and whatnot. So is it just food that she can't really wrap her brain around, kitty?
Lorelai was doing the party part. Suki was only doing the food.
The thing that doesn't make sense is she cooks for Lorelai and Rory all the time, and they eat like kids.
Yeah.
Literally.
But that's not a catering job when she cooks for them. That's just for fun.
I think that's literally the only reason for this storyline.
Well, you're gonna have to.
How are they affording to pay a staff to help them right now?
Maybe they're just like loyal people that.
There's also a thing called savings they might have too. But also like they're getting paid for the party. That too. So maybe savings plus, but they're getting paid too.
I can relate to this.
Did you have that freak out before you had a daughter?
Yes. Like not necessarily, not like as presented the way it is in the scene, but I mean, I understand that mentality, that feeling, worrying about that.
I mean, it's a whole human that you never met. It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
I think all new parents have that freak out.
Yeah, before. I mean, and also after, but really before, you know, kind of the realization that you're like coming on. I mean, now I kind of understand. Now I understand much more of like why this storyline was unfolding the way it was, because it was hard for me to totally grasp this idea that Suki would be that completely unaware of how to create a children's party, because she doesn't seem like the type of person.
Yeah, what?
Is that dude naked?
Yep. Yep.
Man, this definitely I remember from my first year at college. This didn't happen to me, but this definitely happened to
What the
a few
fuck?
others.
Damn,
Sure.
naked on the floor, John?
It did not happen to me, but stories like this.
I don't know if you recognize, but this was the other guy that was alone with her in that
Yeah,
class.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. I actually was gonna mention him because I think I know a story about how he was found
I like him as a potential love interest.
I know I couldn't say anything about him when he was in the classroom, but I love this character. Now that I know who he is, I love this character.
Yeah, I thought that he looked familiar, like, because I feel like I know a little bit about this character, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something after that I noticed for the first time tonight.
This is a big episode. There's so much going on. I feel like we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
I love Lorelai's outfit here.
She must keep her house cold wearing long sleeves all the time.
Oh no, Rory, come on.
She gave it the good old college try.
I was gonna say she had to have known who this was, since he was like the son of his old partner. Yeah, this is the part that I want to talk about. That his motive is revenge, but he doesn't hate his father. He just wants to be like his father. I mean, it seemed like I was having a hard time completely buying that whole monologue. The character, not the writing. I think the writing was great. Basically, I can already say I don't like that guy.
Good, because I don't either.
Good, I'm glad we're all at a consensus.
Well,
I like Emily's hair here. It's probably
But by the way, that could change. I might change my mind. I need to get a little bit more from him. And that was a very specific setting. I want to see how he is, in a much more casual, natural setting.
I have faith that you're gonna like him.
Yeah, this may be your favorite character, John. Fuck.
Wow, that was a very interesting end. I think that was the most. Yeah, that was the most like non-endy end that the series has had for me.
It was very abrupt, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it kind of like it just sort of phased out on. I mean, I don't have any problem with it. It was just very, very different. All right, opening the couch so that some of you friends down there on the beanbags can join us up here. Couch is open. Come on up. Let's chit chat about this episode. Kind of a quieter episode during the episode. But for me, that was because I felt like there was so much in there for me to concentrate and make sure that I got. Like, I mean, we had like all the stuff with Paris, and Rory. We had this new guy, this new like. I mean, I'm going to say it, like he seems like a love interest. So love interest guy. We've got Digger. And
I don't like that name.
and then we've got this whole thing with like Emily and the furniture and Rory not being able to tell her stop doing that kind of stuff, and then we've got Lord of the Rings party. It was a lot happening in this episode.
It's a lot.
Where do we start?
I would just like to start in something small. I got to bring up the Lalas, and the Lala where Lorelai Gilmore runs through her house and just like rapidly does what she got to do before she gets a call from Rory.
Can you give us just a quick little performance, just to refresh us?
I'll try. If you have the DVD box set, it's the same La La that's on the main menu for season 4. Okay.
All right, give it to it.
La 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 la. It's the shortest one, and I love that.
That sounds like something from Lord of the Rings.
Probably because my voice is like scratchy and flat right now. But
Like,
yeah,
it kind of sounded like the opening of like a Harry Potter movie, like dun 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 dun.
Sam Phillips must have been obsessed with the Lord of the Rings.
All right, so let's see. What I mean, I have a bunch.
Impressions of Digger. Let's have them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, first of all, just the smarm, the level of smarm
Indubitably.
was just through the roof.
He's like Lorelai has that kind of smarm, but not to that extent.
I mean, I wouldn't call what Lorelai does smarmy. I mean, his whole thing, like that whole monologue, and like, you know, and then I think that the part that really like just the nail in his coffin, in his coffin of my mind, was when he's like, you know, he's like, just imagine my father's face when I tell him, you know, and I mean, just such a vindictive thing to say. And then in the next sentence, he's like, you hate your father that much. And he's like, oh, I don't hate him. I just don't want to be like him. I'm like, wait, what? Like, there are a lot of things that you could do so that you don't end up like your father. Like, completely screwing your father over in this way doesn't sound like the, you know, the only and maybe even the best way to do it. Yeah, no, I mean,
I also find it interesting how he says that he wants to work somewhere where everybody hasn't known him since he was 6. Richard has known him for that long.
Right. Oh, that's totally true. And also where he said that people don't call him Digger. We're all calling him Digger. Like,
that will not stop.
He is not losing that name. We're going to be calling him Digger for the rest of this series. Am I correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that says something, right? Like the character himself is saying, I don't want to be called Digger, and we, the audience, have basically been told, hey, everyone, make sure that you call this character Digger from here on out.
Hence the title of the episode.
Wait, what was the title? Let me look at it again. The Hobbit, the Sofa, and the Digger.
Sofa and Digger Stiles.
And Digger Stiles, yeah. Yeah, anyway, I mean, from the moment that door opened, I was like, oh, okay. So here's the thing. As of right now, I don't know that it's Lorelai's love interest. So I'm actually wondering if it is. I don't totally know. I feel like I should probably think that it is, but maybe that's mostly because there was a lot of chit chat about that before this episode. But as of right now, I mean, I don't get any sense whatsoever that these characters are going to in any way get together, and I can't even imagine it. I really can't even imagine it.
You don't think Eddie Haskell belongs with Lorelai?
Oh, is that Eddie Haskell?
No, he reminds me of Eddie Haskell.
I was gonna say he kind of looks like an Eddie Haskell.
He's all like sucking up to the parents kind of thing, and he's a little bit on the smarmy side, and you can just imagine that he's totally opposite when he's with his friends.
Yeah.
There's a movie called Metropolis that stars this guy, what's his name? David Eichmann, whatever his name is. There's this movie, and it came out, I think, in the late 80s, like 1989, and it's about like New York City sort of like debutante culture. And in my mind, if anyone wants to watch it at some point, in my mind, that is like young Digger Stiles.
Wait, what movie was that?
It's called Metropolitan.
Metropolitan. Yeah, you said Metropolis, but wait,
I did.
that
Sorry, it's
that character who plays Digger Stiles is in that movie.
Yeah, he's
And
he's
wait,
like,
and let me just clarify. Sabrina, you just said David Eichmann with a question mark, if that's his name. Am I correct?
I think so. I can't remember.
Well, that says a lot. That says a lot.
Why?
Because I know how much you know about Gilmore Girls, and the fact that, I mean, this character is clearly not a character that sticks with people, I think.
I mean, the actor's name is
he
just
sticks
like,
with me, just not in a good way.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, Tiffany. As of right now, honestly, like, I can't. Well, here's my question for you, Tiffany. How'd you feel about him after this episode?
Well, this episode was kind of like, all right, who was this? Like the 80s Chad. You know what I mean? Like the swarmy guy that came to the party and was, you know, like not. That's how I saw him. But after this, it's really a breath of fresh air. And I do think it is a lot like a male version of Lorelai in some ways. So maybe that's why I liked him so much.
Also,
Yeah,
his name is Chris Eichmann.
Okay, Chris Eichmann. That's what actually somebody on Instagram Live said it as well. I just thought it was funny that, like, I mean, your Gilmore knowledge is like pretty like, it breaks the scale. And so the fact that you didn't know that, like, I just think kind of, you know, it tells me something about the character.
No spoilers.
But I found it really interesting, the reversal in Emily's enthusiasm before and after she found out about his motivations.
Oh yeah, that is interesting. Yeah.
I think it's because of like what we said with like the male version of Lorelai. I think she has dealt with that type of stuff with Lorelai, and so I think she's very much about family and not, you know, respecting your parents and not doing the same.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Right.
Well, the fact that the first thing he does is say that he doesn't want to become like his parents while he's telling jokes to Richard. That Richard really doesn't get that well. That reminds me a lot of Lorelai.
Oh yeah, I mean, that part of it, you know, like rebelling against your parents. But I don't envision Lorelai doing something like, I don't have any problem with that whole idea of like, I don't want to be my parents. I'm doing my own thing. I want to, you know, it's just the way that he presents it to Richard seems really kind of gross and kind of nasty. And that doesn't, I don't see that as being Lorelai at all. But I don't know, maybe it's possible that he was doing that specifically for Richard. Like, he thought he was, you know, talking Richard's language. Maybe that's sort of how these like high-powered insurance partnery type folks talk with one another, and he's seen that and knows that that's how to get through to him. But it just felt particularly nasty,
like car salesman-y, like
yes, well, smarmy. I mean, like the car salesman, they like created that trope.
Bless you.
Yeah, I was going to say that was Babsy.
I agree with that sneeze.
They all agree with the sneeze. All right. Well, I need more on this character before I can like fully form my feelings on him. But as of right now, not into him.
I mean, yeah.
I'm actually surprised that so many people on here don't like him, because I know a lot of people that actually really do, and I never have, and I always feel like the odd one out.
I like him, but like I don't love him, but I kind of don't like him, but I don't hate him.
I like him.
In the middle. Like, he's not my favorite. He's not my least favorite.
Are you more indifferent to him, Lily? Just
yeah,
kind of indifferent.
He's just right there in the middle.
I like him, but I'm also a big Christopher fan, so I get crap for both of those people.
Oh no!
Wow. I mean, okay, because you know that I'm not. I mean, I think I've come to the realization that like Christopher's not really right for Lorelai, but I like Christopher. So you and I are in that same boat. But you like Digger as well.
Yes, I like Digger as well.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna close myself to the idea that he could grow on me. But as of right now, this first scene, no.
Why do I feel like John would have gone to the same school as Christopher and Digger?
Why do you say that? I went to a public school in Miami. I was from a completely middle class family, single mom who struggled, at times in our life. Like
okay, so like college edition.
Well, college I went to DePaul University, which is a really is a good school. Is a good school, but I specifically went for theater. I have no idea if I would have actually gone there. I'm probably not gone there for anything else. They have a really good theater school, but I mean, I was a theater nerd. Like I don't know what. Do you
And
see?
Digger went to Harvard. They just said that in the episode. So
Digger went to Harvard.
yeah.
And what was his major? We don't know.
Theater.
Probably theater. He would have went into theater with John.
I don't think that Harvard has a theater program. Though Yale has an amazing theater program. They have one of the best graduate theater programs in the country. Like so.
That was a part of Rory's pro list, was that Yale's drama program.
Yeah, it's really good, but it's not really. I don't believe so for undergrad. For graduate, it's like the premier. It's like for theater. For actors, specifically actors who want to, get an MFA, who don't want to immediately, go into trying to, get on Broadway and win a Tony. The Yale is like the school that you're vying for. That's like the Juilliard of graduate programs for actors. And but I don't know about for undergrad.
Meryl Streep School. Come on.
Yeah, correct. It is, and also like I mean several really big people came out of that school. I can't remember specifically right now, but I know that it's a big school. But Harvard, I don't know about Harvard theater. It's never really.
I just looked it up, and Harvard has theater, dance, and media, and it's all put together as a 1-year graduate program.
Yeah, but I don't. What I'm saying is that I don't think that it's like a prestigious program. Like as a theater school, like there's a handful of them.
It's
like
not a big
there's like
thing.
Carnegie Mellon. There's Carnegie Mellon, the theater school at DePaul, Juilliard. Trying to think of some other. NYU, Tisch.
AMDA.
I don't know about that one. That might be more.
I can't remember the abbreviation for it.
And Yale is on that list, but for graduate. But I've never heard.
For Harvard, it's listed as a part of their extension school and not an actual part of their school.
There you go.
And only Harvard students can enroll in the extension school. So you have to be already going for something else, and then that's an extra.
My cousin went to Harvard, and he is not even remotely like either Digger or Christopher at all.
Tasha's flashing.
Tasha?
Thank you. Okay. So I was a little silent because I was actually simultaneously playing my Lego Jurassic World. But I heard y'all talk about Jason, and my whole thing on Jason is that like he brings like he's funny, and like we'll kind of see that, and so he's funny, and so like I like him in that aspect because he brings like a little bit more humor to the show. Because I mean, right now for humor you have obviously Lorelai and Rory, and now that Rory's in college, you have the extension cast like Janet and Tana and and now Marty. But there's not many people in like the adult world, minus Stars Hollow. If you go out of Stars Hollow, there's not many funny people, and so I feel like Jason's going to bring a lot of that. But obviously there's things that we can't say because I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
I didn't find him
But-
particularly funny, but
Yeah.
but I'm ready for it. I have a question really quickly for
Oh.
Babsy.
I wasn't done.
Didgeridoo? What do you think?
Didgeridoo.
She said a firm N-O spells no.
I heard her in the back. She went, nope. She was so quick. I know that's right.
Quick with it.
I'm
Can
sorry,
I
Tasha.
just
I'm sorry
say-
to cut you off
I
there.
wasn't done with my thoughts though.
Yeah. Finish what you were saying, Tasha. Sorry
Oh,
about
thank you. You're totally fine. But like my whole thing with him wanting to, he doesn't want to be like his father, yet he doesn't hate him. I mean, it's kind of like, I can kind of not relate to that, but I guess like maybe Lorelai could probably relate to that because like she doesn't hate her parents. She just doesn't want to turn into them. And that makes sense because it's like your parents have a good livelihood. They brought you up in the best way that they thought they could. And then Lorelai strayed away from her parents and did her own thing. Jason, while still in that world, this is not me like defending how he brought it up, but Jason, while still in that world, wants to kind of do the same thing, but yet he wants to stick it to his father. And I mean, I get it. And I guess like with what Richard was saying is like, I'm doing this like for revenge or whatever. I understand it because they phased him out and I was like, pardon my language, a shitty way of doing it. They could have just been like, yo, bro, like, go down type thing. So I get it, but it's kind of like a shady way of doing it. And like I said, I can't say much more because things haven't happened yet, but I don't know. Jason's like a hate to love kind of character. And that's all I'll say.
I don't have any problem with Richard's desire to get back at his partners. He was totally, he feels like he was done wrong. And, you know, I think that desire to lash back is natural. But with
tit for tat.
But with Digger, you know, he's and I also don't really have that much problem with or I don't have any problem with this idea of Digger not wanting to follow in his parents' in his father's footsteps and all of that. And I do think that in that way he's similar to Lorelai. The part where it doesn't work for me is Digger, particularly Digger's approach to all of that. Like Digger's sort of desire to be vindictive. I've never seen that from Lorelai. Like Lorelai will sometimes spite her mother in the midst of something, right? Like if her mother has started something, she'll want to just hit back at it immediately right there because it annoys her. But this feels different. This feels like while my father is not paying attention, I am about to just drop the biggest bomb on him, and I love it. And that doesn't seem like anything Lorelai would do.
I think the closest Lorelai ever got was like when she was doing the deposition for the maids, like the lawsuit. Like I don't think she was doing it on purpose out of spite, but it was kind of somewhat similar.
Kind of, but not totally. I mean, that's probably the closest, but she was asking her to break the law, kind of.
Yeah, what Digger was doing much more calculated. It's like he formulated this plan and was like, I'm going to do this, but Lorelai doesn't do that with Emily.
Yeah, for sure. Let's pivot. Really quick, Tana. I just wanted to say we don't have to go really too deep into Tana, but this character is a very weird character.
You can't really get
I love her.
I mean,
I love her weird.
She's very
She's a
interesting.
16-year-old though. I mean, she's so young and a little bit out of place, but obviously very smart.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was kind of trying to understand. Is she just very weird, or were they trying to to this, like, she's a child prodigy, so she's there even though she's much younger than most people there because she's so smart. Therefore, because she's young, we've got to like really make it clear to audiences that she's young, because I mean, her behavior, sometimes I'm not sure if she's playing a really remember the episode where Dean's little sister, who looked like she was like 16 years old, was like behaving like a 3-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right. She's like, what do you like to do for fun? You know, it was like, what is going on? Like, and I feel like they wrote that. I feel like they wrote that scene. They cast her, and then she showed up on set, and they were like, "Oh, she's grown. What do we do?" And they were like,
well, in
nothing to do
2002,
now."
Clara was 13. Well, Scout Taylor Compton, but
No, I mean, she seemed like, I mean, the way that she was talking didn't sound like a 13-year-old, but that sort of feels a little bit like what's going on with Tana. Like, is she like overcompensating this like little kid thing, or is she just real weird?
I think Tana is in the whole show. I think everything about her, like, she's supposed to be weird because she is 16 and in college. But I think the reason that they put her there with Rory and Paris is to kind of knock down the whole Rory and Paris fighting over who's smarter thing, because now they have this 16-year-old prodigy in their room, and Paris is free to go and be new Paris and do all these things without us having to worry about her fighting with Rory over their GPAs and things like that.
Okay, somebody on Instagram, I think, just sort of made it clear for me. Somebody just said, very gifted people often struggle socially. So is that kind of a theme for Tana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, because, you know, Tana's been like accelerated. She never got the chance to like socialize with people her own age. So I think that that's partly, I think that they're highlighting the fact that she doesn't socially fit in because she never really got the chance to socialize that much with kids her own age.
Yep, got it. Great, cool. I like the character. I'm hoping that she grows in the series. I don't know if she will, but
I'm Team Tana.
I dig it. And it's cool because now, you know, hopefully Olivia comes to FanFest again, and I can tell her that now I've seen her in the show, and that I think she's fantastic.
Are you going to tell her that you think the character's weird?
Yeah, I think that she'd probably agree.
Please.
I think she'd probably agree. I don't know. I mean, I won't have a problem telling her that I think the character is. I would probably not say weird. I'd probably say socially awkward. But I think she'd probably agree with that. I would actually like to talk to her about it. I would just be like, so what was your take on Tana? Like stunted socially, just generally weird, still young, like you know, she'll probably be interested in, or maybe I can try to get her to come and hang with us. I don't know. I'll try that too. All right. Moving on.
Are we going to talk about Janet?
About Janet, just like doing her.
That part always bothers me. There's a whole floor. Like, why are you doing it right in front of somebody?
I didn't think about it until you said it, but at the moment you said it, I was like, oh my gosh, it was one of those moments where like I realized that there was something weird, but I didn't really know exactly what it was. And then you said it, it was like, oh my gosh, why is she doing that? She just walks in. I mean, I would say, I wonder if it's in the script. I wish I had that script to see if that's in the script or if that's a directing thing. You know, like, you know, very often the script didn't have that much like actual blocking, meaning that there wasn't, because of how much dialogue is in this show. You know, the pages of the script were just typically just like an entire just dialogue from the top of the page to the bottom, like page after page after page. And so a lot of like interesting, quirky, what we would call it blocking, I believe is the director. And that's the way that it was whenever I was doing episodes. Like I always remember that the director was really like kind of in charge of that. Like, for example, there was that one episode where Rory she's carrying that big wheel thing of sodas, and Jackson comes over and he's talking to her and he's walking back and forth behind her, and she's like trying to keep track of him as he's walking behind her. Like, there's no way that was in the script. That was like a little physical comic moment that the director brought to the screen. I mean, it just doesn't seem like something that would be written into the script. Maybe it was written like something generally like that. Like he comes in and he's pacing around and Lorelai is trying to, or he's not paying attention to her, or something like that. But that thing with Janet felt to me like it might have been something the director thought would be funny.
I actually have a friend that used to do things like that. Like, we'd be walking around, someone should be like, I'm going to take a lap, and start running. Or we'd be in the office at work and she would drop down and start doing sit-ups. Like, what are you doing? So there really are people like that out there.
I need to be one of those people.
I don't need to be.
I'll just be like Rory. Watch.
I mean, maybe other people think I need to be, but I don't need to be.
Can we move on to Suki and the party?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, but I want to make sure that I have enough time to talk about new love interest.
Yes.
Marty.
New Rory love interest. That's how it feels to me. I could be wrong.
Naked Man.
Naked boy.
Naked
You mean
Naked Man.
Naked guy.
Marty?
Naked
Are we
guy.
talking about Marty?
I could be wrong. Maybe he is not going to be her love interest, but he feels like we're setting him up to be a potential love interest. He's a handsome guy, but he kind of looks a little different, nerdier than, like she hasn't kind of had a nerdy handsome guy yet, and so there seems to be like that could be a really interesting dynamic. But let's talk about the Suki thing first, because I think that leaving that for last makes a little more sense. Who wants to go?
I'll start. I think with I'm not a parent, so I can't really relate to this part, but seeing some of my friends slowly begin to realize, holy crap, I'm going to be a parent. I don't know how to do this. Like, I can barely take care of a plant. How am I going to take care of a child? And I think Suki, after being told kids will not eat all of this crap, while it looks gorgeous and I would probably eat some of it, it took her a second to realize that, I don't know how to do this. And I think every mom that's here or parent that's here can kind of relate to their epiphany moments. Am I ready to, I can't do this. What? And so I thought it was funny, but at the same time, it was kind of, I didn't like how Suki was kind of getting on Lorelai about this is a partnership. I do the food, you do the planning. And it's yeah, but at the same time, you guys want to run an inn together. You guys got to make decisions together. And I think with Suki not really listening to Lorelai when she had an 8-year-old at one point, she kind of walked herself into this, but at the same time, I understand it because she doesn't really know how to serve 8-year-olds, even though she helped with Rory a lot of the time. I don't know. I thought it was sweet. Well, I thought it was funny, but at the same time, I also thought it was sad too. But
I have a question for everyone.
Yeah.
If Suki wasn't pregnant, do you think she'd have been more successful with this party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe.
I think that was the point of the whole storyline.
No. That's how I've always had to look at the scene about it not making sense, because she cooks for Rory and Lorelai is just, oh, well, it's pregnancy brain and hormones, and that's why she's, you know, forgetting everything she's known.
I think it's because it's her work, and she thinks of work as being a professional chef, caterer, and that kind of food. When she cooks for friends and family, she's not thinking of it as work, so she cooks what she knows they like. So
That could be.
I think for her,
That's interesting. I had not thought of that.
I hadn't either. That makes sense.
A party in her mind. She was catering a party, and she didn't talk to Lorelai about the difference between kids' parties and the parties she's used to doing.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
I was actually going to pick up on that, Chris. I think that it was her trying to prove that since she's a mother, she knows kids, or she's going to be a mother, she knows kids. Whereas if it was just for work and she wasn't pregnant, the first thing she would have done was sit down with Lorelai and say, okay, what should be on the menu together, and pick Lorelai's brain. But because she's pregnant and she's going to be a mother, she should know this. She should have this. And so she just went on her own.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Have we ever seen her do any kids stuff yet?
Nope.
No, but I think I'm with Mandy on this. I went into this with the same kind of like head scratch, like this kind of seems a little forced. Like I don't totally buy this, but and the only way that I can buy or I could buy it was maybe this is like what you said, Amanda, that this is like kind of pregnancy brain. She's just not thinking straight, and that if she wasn't pregnant, that it would have been different. But that is an interesting take, Chris. Like I think I may actually be shifting, because I
agree.
like that idea. I like that idea that when it comes to work, her brain is thinking differently, and that and I think that we can also put what you're saying in there, Mary, as well, that she may have also, there might have been a part of her that was thinking, and I got this.
Pregnancy brain.
And then, and then maybe the pregnancy brain is a part of that. I got this. And then like, in fact, you don't got this. But that's cool. I'm really glad that we talked about it, because it definitely makes all of that make way more sense to me.
I've only ever thought that storyline was put in at all to make it look like Suki wasn't ready to have a baby, because otherwise it makes no sense, because who would do all of that for a kid's party if, I think that they only wrote it that way so that we would know that Suki was starting to freak out a little bit.
Her "I'm going to be a bad mother" speech was really sad, though.
Someone in
not only
the
with
chat
not only
actually
with
said-
the writing, but her performance was just.
It was amazing. I felt every bit of it.
Blah, 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 blah. I was saying someone in the discussion actually said, I'm going to go see if I can find their name, who it was, that it was Jackson who really wanted the kids and was pushing for kids. So perhaps this is her getting into the realization that maybe she wasn't ready to have kids just yet.
Yeah.
Well, she did always say that, like, at the dance, she said, I want kids, I want kids, type thing.
And in the speech, she also makes it seem a little bit like she wanted this too, because she's like, saying how she's like, I want to be a mom. I'm pathetic. So she makes it seem like it was her idea, just the same as Jackson's.
She also had not worked in a really long time. So she may have gotten a little carried away and not slowed down and thought about the client, and was just super excited to be cooking and creating for anybody, anything.
Another thing is that she may have been kind of hoping to impress the parents so that they would refer her to other people.
It's just like everything that we know about Suki so far. I mean, even like going back to her wedding planning, remember when Emily was like planning like the mushrooms and all that, like Suki strikes me as a very playful and youthful character. And all of this stuff was like so mature, so I think it actually makes sense that she was sort of in like work mode, thinking in work mode, and yeah, and wanting to do a really good job and all of that. Cool.
She's really confident in her work too, so it makes sense to me that she would just like focus on, you know, how she sees it should be done and not ask for help for that reason too.
Absolutely.
Carol, can you mute if you're not going to speak? I'm sorry, there's a lot of background noise. Thanks.
Hey, John, it's getting pretty close to 8:30. I know you said you needed to.
Yeah, let's. We got 4 minutes. Let's talk about love interest.
Oh dang.
I love Marty.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
So I think Alexis in that scene, finding him in the hallway, is so brilliant because I feel every bit of awkwardness for her. Like, I think it's just so good, her acting in that scene.
Going off of what we've seen so far. Oh wait, Charlie's thinking.
Sorry, this is what I was gonna say during the episode. But I noticed this for the first time after, you know, the many times that I've watched the series. But during the party scene, right before the twins come up to her, she notices him in the hallway and is like walking over to talk to him.
I noticed that too, and I had never noticed that before.
I've never noticed that before.
Oh, really? I noticed it.
Yeah.
And I thought that I didn't interpret it as like she was interested in him. I interpreted it more like it's, you know, it's early college here. I don't know very many people. And that guy, I remember him from that class.
Yeah.
Let me
And
go
also,
talk to him and like
Exactly.
let me have like some interaction with, like, be able to have some interaction with somebody here other than Paris.
Yeah, and he was alone and she was alone, so.
And he stood there that whole scene, just sulking in the corner with a drink in his hand.
And not only that, that's where she finds
And that's
him
where
naked.
she found him. Yeah.
There
Literally.
was a guy, I remember, that's why I say it. Like, there was a guy I remember in my university that, like, at an early party, like one of the first parties, that was there, like in a corner with like a bottle of vodka, like a freshman, like a bottle of vodka. And then like there was like word like the next day of like that guy like naked under a tree or something like that. I mean, that scene felt very, very much like something that would happen in a freshman's like, or in the, you know, first year of university. Just another reason why all of this university stuff is just so realistic. You know, it feels like the most realistic university, like, scenes and setting and all of that just brings you back.
You know what? From what I've seen so far with Marty and his storyline, I like him. He seems like a chill guy. Someone that definitely could be like more on Rory's level if he's supposed to be the love interest of Rory. More like an equal pal. Definitely a good introduction for college, since they both showed up at class early, like at the same time.
Oh, she beat him out.
Oh wait, yeah, because he came right after.
Yeah,
I'm done.
But yeah,
like,
I mean,
a 2-minute difference.
Yeah, I don't know yet because I haven't seen enough of him. You all obviously know, you know, what this character's personality is like. I mean, he struck me as still somewhat drunk, you know, as he was walking away. I imagine that he probably was still somewhat drunk. And before that, he's just quietly sulking in the corner, drinking, and quiet at class. So I'm not completely sure I know what his personality is or whether it meshes with Rory, but I like just this general idea of Rory and a nerdy guy.
I'm telling you, John, it's the vibe. That's the vibe. I don't know much, but I know the vibe.
Okay. All right. So does anybody know like how that actor was found?
Through God, I don't know.
Because I want to no, because I thought that I heard a story that he was. It could be wrong. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I had thought I'd heard a story of him waiting on the Palladinos at a restaurant, and they found him really. They found him really charming. Like he was funny and whatnot, and that. I mean, I know it sounds like your total like Hollywood story, and maybe I'm wrong. I thought I heard that somewhere, and maybe it's not true. I was hoping that you all would be like, oh yeah, that's. I was hoping that you all would be like, oh yeah, that's general knowledge. But now
without giving too much away, that would kind of make sense for where his storyline is in the show.
Can I share something funny? Like a funny story about myself, really quick? Please. So, as I have like prefaced this before, I started watching Gilmore Girls at about the halfway point of season 4. So the season, we're a little bit past that, right? And so the first time that I ever saw Marty, I thought to myself, well, what the hell is John Mayer doing here? Like,
God.
I really thought
Oh my God.
I was like, wait, why is he on there?
You thought it was on there.
Maybe he got
Shoot,
cast
sorry.
because he looks like Justin. I don't know.
Sorry, Carol. I accidentally put you to the audience. I was trying to make you a moderator. Come back up.
Just to let you know, John is correct. On the wiki, it says Wayne Wilcox, who plays Marty, was discovered by the creators of Gilmore Girls while working as a waiter at Mercer Kitchen in Soho.
That's really cool.
I knew that.
There it goes. Yeah, I had heard that story, and I don't know who I heard it from. Either it was from Sean or from Mara Casey, but I remember that he waited on them, and that they found him really charming. He was funny. He was like kind of, and I don't think he even knew that they were creators. And then they asked, probably like similar to when I was at, like when Dan asked Mara to bring me in to audition, they probably asked to bring him in to audition. And of course, like, they were probably already excited about him because they remembered him from that. So he probably didn't have a lot to go. Like he didn't have the distance that he had to run probably wasn't as far as other actors there in the audition. Or maybe not. Maybe they just like offered him the role. They were like, we love that guy. We're giving him.
In an interview, he said that they reached out to his agent, and his agent called him and said, you book this and they want you to be on the show.
Whoa. That's like one of those stories you just never hear.
Flattering.
But you kind of think that it happens in Hollywood, but it's actually like totally not true, never happens, but like there it is, does happen.
That is so crazy.
It's 8:30, John, just in case you weren't paying attention.
I'm putting I'm giving everybody moderator status. And Carol, I accidentally put you in, oh no, you're back up. Great.
Hey,
Sorry
John, didn't you say that you were going to give a hint about the memento?
Yeah, maybe I should do that really quickly before I leave. So the first hint that I'll tell you is that a passphrase is not always a sentence. It can just be a grouping of words. All right, I'm bringing up Lindsay Cooper.
Hey, John, on
yeah.
a side note, I should have told you this before. We were talking about Rick and Morty. Starts on Sunday again, in case you didn't know.
Oh my goodness.
Dear God, that was loud.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait. Who else?
Say the hint one more time.
Oh, I just wanted to remind you all that a passphrase is not necessarily always an actual sentence or a phrase. It can just mean it's a series of words with spaces between them. So if I tell you that a password, maybe this particular password is actually a passphrase, that doesn't mean that you should be thinking that it's a sentence. It might be a bunch of just different words.
Okay. Also, no capital letter, right? Because I think the first capital throws people off.
That's the only clue you're getting right now.
Okay. So we can't trick you into another clue.
No, I'll give you clues every night. I'll give you little clues every night. Like I
And
said,
when is this memento dropping?
Do we know?
This memento, this memento, which is Cat Scratch, is going to be dropping. Is going to be dropping next Saturday, the 26th, but early. I'm going to actually open the room up early because for those of you who haven't figured it out, what it probably is prior to that, when I tell you, I'm not going to be telling you the password or phrase. I'm going to be telling you how you get it. And everyone who hasn't figured out what it could end up being beforehand are all going to be racing. So I don't want to do that race at 8 a.m. because I want to start the episode. Sound good?
Sounds fair.
Yeah, sounds good.
This was really fun. I liked this episode. This is a higher up episode for me. I really liked it a lot. There was just so much in there.
Bye, guys.
All right, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
John, just to let you know before you leave, I feel as if every time you do the night ones, you should just tell us what you're eating.
Oh, I'm eating a salad.
I agree.
That's a good. Okay. I hope it's not rude. Do you guys find it rude?
No, I'm just always trying to guess.
Yeah, like is that a salad? Is that chicken Alfredo?
If you guess a salad, you're gonna probably be right more often than not because I almost always, like Babsy and I almost always eat salads for dinner. So it's a salad with chicken on it, but you know, like spring greens and cherry tomatoes and
Does Babsy make her own pretzels? Because those pretzels in her picture look so good.
Babsy, you want to answer that?
Yeah. I do not make my own pretzels because it's a little trickier than you would think. There's like a specific thing that you need in order to make the pretzels, like, you know, to make the skin of the pretzels like perfect. And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my pretzels, so so I'm not settling with what I would be able to make. I still have to learn that though one day. But no, those.
It's actually pretty easy, Babsy. I make them, I don't know, several times a year, and it's actually not that bad.
Oh, you gotta send me your secrets because I've tried it like a couple times and it just didn't work out.
Now, just consider, Nikki, her bar for pretzels is real high because there's like one place in Nuremberg that she kind of all pretzels are kind of judged against that, right?
Well, no, I don't want to sound like a snob.
It's fair though. If you got something you love, it's fair.
Yeah.
Those are from Aldi.
Yeah, and like once or twice a year, Aldi has something they call German Week, which is always really funny to me. But one thing that they have then in the freezer is like frozen pretzels, and those are not bad. And so I always buy like 10 packs of it. So.
we no kidding.
Nice.
Yo, I love Aldi. Babs knows where to shop.
Oh yeah.
We don't have Aldi in Canada.
Well, you know that Aldi is a German. It's a German supermarket.
Yeah, they
that's
got
like
some good biscuits there.
That's my favorite German thing, Aldi.
You know what surprised me about German language? I didn't know that Adidas is actually supposed to be like Adidas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I call that, my sons call it that too. I'm like, okay, let's get some Adidas shirts.
Oh, that's
it's the Dossler brothers. Yeah. And you know that the Dossler brothers had a huge feud, and because one of them created Adidas and the other one created Puma.
Ooh. Oh, I didn't know
that. I did know that.
There's a huge
the battle of the brands.
Like well, not just battle of the brands, battle of the family. Like they really were like at each other's throats. It's a really interesting story. If you're interested, you can go onto Wikipedia and read about it. They also have some movies that recently came out about it. But
I love my Pumas.
So tomorrow we're doing one episode in the morning, one at night, and then nothing on Father's Day, right?
Correct.
sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
That is correct. And I'm gonna start dropping some guests into the app so that you can see some of the folks who are going to be joining us next week.
Nice.
And we're also going to have a memento dropping on the episode on Festival of Living Art on this episode 7, the introduction of a new bandmate.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
So if you can guess which memento that's going to be, that's probably
I think
you could
Is that
probably.
another
idea.
hep string one, a hep alien one?
Is it a wig?
It'll be part of the HEP collection. Yeah.
Is it gonna be the
hairband?
Oh, a wig would be awesome.
All right, everyone.
Hairband.
This was super fun. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Good night, John.
Night.
Good night, John.